The Galactic Institute of Advanced Sciences was a symbol of unity across the stars. Its crystal towers rose into the sky like frozen lightning. Inside, the smartest minds from countless worlds gathered to expand the limits of knowledge. But in quantum mechanics 401, Professor Extakar's toughest class, silence ruled the room. In the back sat Mino, a quiet human girl with dark eyes locked on the glowing equations floating in the air. She had never spoken once during lectures, not in the 3 semesters she'd been there. Her classmates, Laron's crystal-bodied Altarians, tentacled scholars, and cybernetic proximants had long written her off as just another struggling human, barely keeping up with the galaxy's best. Professor Extakar waved his forearms at the intricate patterns of light. The Heisenberg-Calthera principle has defied our greatest thinkers for more than 2 centuries, he said. In 11-dimensional space, quantum tunneling creates paradoxes our theories cannot solve. James, the only other human in class, shifted uneasily. He had tried many times to befriend Mino, but she always replied with a polite nod or faint smile before slipping back into silence. Even now, she wrote on plain paper notebooks, strange in a class where nearly everyone else used neural implants. The possibilities are endless, the professor continued, his insect-like face glowing blue in the holograms. Instant communication across galaxies, limitless clean energy, even time manipulation. Yet every method ends in the same failure, the convergence impossibility. Zakan, a sharp-edged crystalline student, raised a limb. Didn't the hegemony's most powerful computers fail just last cycle? Yes, Extakar admitted. Even the central authority has declared it unsolvable. Some believe our minds themselves are the limitation. Mino stopped writing. James noticed for the first time. Her expression looked heavy, not confused, but troubled, as if she saw something others had missed. Weeks passed. The impossible convergence became a running theme. Guest lecturers came from the most advanced civilizations, all with the same story, decades of failure. The Etherians had tried for half a century. The hyperlogical machanoids had devoted entire AI engines. Even the timeless observers, beings of pure thought who had seen galaxies form, had admitted defeat. One evening, as James and Mino walked through the glowing gardens, he sighed. It's humiliating. Humans already have a reputation as the cute species, good for art and stories, useless at real science. This just proves them right. Mino finally spoke. Her voice was calm but steady. What if they're all looking at it the wrong way? James froze. In 2 years, those were the first words he'd ever heard her say. What do you mean? He asked. But Mino was already walking away, notebook pressed tightly to her chest. The next morning, quantum mechanics 401 erupted in chaos. Professor Extakar entered the classroom to find equations scrolled everywhere on the walls, the ceiling, even hanging in holographic space. More power, more variables. But humans learned something from our own history. Sometimes the hardest problems have the simplest solutions. We call it elegant simplicity. She walked to the front, her steps confident. James noticed her hands weren't shaking, even with the entire class staring. Mino touched one of the glowing formulas. The problem isn't 11-dimensional space. The real issue is the solution trying to exist in multiple states at once. If you collapse the wave function not at observation, but at intention, Professor Extakar's 4 eyes widened. You're saying consciousness itself is the missing piece. Not consciousness, Mino corrected softly. Will. Determination. The human refusal to accept that something can't be done. For the first time, she smiled. We flew before we understood aerodynamics. We split atoms before we fully grasped quantum mechanics. We reached space when everyone said it was impossible. Humans don't stop just because the odds say we should. As she spoke, the equations around them shifted. The contradictions melted away, replaced by harmony. The math began to flow like music, each piece locking into place. Zakan, the crystalline student, whispered in awe. It's beautiful. Professor Extakar's voice trembled. Miss Mino, these calculations aren't just theory. They mean real solutions, energy, communication, even travel. You've changed the foundation of reality itself. Mino returned to her seat, expression calm, as though nothing extraordinary had happened. I've been working on it since the first day you mentioned it. Humans might not be the smartest or strongest species, but we're very good at not giving up. Word of her discovery spread first through the Institute, then across the galactic networks. Humanity's name was on every tongue. Later, walking once more through the glowing gardens, Mino broke the silence before James could. Her eyes sparkled with quiet humor. You know what's funny? She asked. What's that? James replied. I only solved it because I was too stubborn to believe it couldn't be solved. Sometimes being too human is exactly what the galaxy needs. Above them, the stars seemed to shine a little brighter, as if the universe itself agreed. And in the quiet corner of quantum mechanics 401, an empty chair waited where a silent human girl had once sat, long enough to change everything.